Alright, what's good with y'all, man? It's JSR right here. Day one of Bellathron's redemption, man. Real shit. But anyway, I want to chop it up with y'all real quick. Talk about some, random shit. Ain't no real uh as far as topic I got for today. It was just, spit some shit I've been thinking about for a while. Um, One of the things it's kind of like what's going on, the trendy right now with this little movement we got going on in America. I don't know about other countries, but we got some shit out here in America, man, or some stuff. I know you two don't like talking curse words, but no, one thing I noticed in America that everybody talking about on the news and other YouTubers and shit. I'm gonna just keep cursing. I ain't gonna lie. But it's this LGBTQ stuff, man. Like, I want to talk about that just so you guys get another perspective on it. Most likely, y'all never heard nobody with this kind of perspective. I'm sure. I'm positive. I'm probably like one of the few hundred people in the world, like on this type time, like for real. Um, so first of all, I want to say like disclaimer right off the bat. Like, I am not against no one's personal adult decisions. I don't care what nobody do, as long as you don't hurt nobody. Even if you do hurt somebody, that's still up. You ain't hurting me. So that's y'all problem. That's y'all stuff. But it's just basically kind of like, so my opinion on the LGBTQ situation is not necessarily against it. I'm not against it or for it. Let's just say that. I'm not against it and I'm not for it either. And here's why I'm not against it. I'm not against it because, like I just said, a few seconds ago, these are grown people. Like, you don't gotta, if you ain't feeling that way, then you don't gotta, go that far with people. So if someone, sexual desires is something that you find alternative or opposite or, not to your liking, then, you don't gotta mix and mingle with them like that. So it shouldn't even matter if someone is LGBTQ or whatever. Like, just be you. And some people who also don't like it or are against it is because they feel like the rest of the world is going to become gay, like or they're going to become LGBT. They're trying to make the world like that. They're trying to make the world accept being that way, and it's going to be more people that's LGBTQ than it is the conventional route, which is also stupid because most people understand. You can talk to your oldest grandparents. They knew someone who was gay. Gay and LGBTQ, all that stuff is not new. It's been around for as long as your oldest grandparent has been around. So, it ain't gonna break the world. It ain't gonna make the whole world gay. That's something like somebody think when they kind of like unsure themselves. Like, if they feel like the more people gay and LGBTQ is gonna become like the thing, the new, like, it's gonna become mainstream, or it's gonna become like majority of people. And no, it's not. It's always going to be majority of people who want to get with the males going to always majority, not always. Males going to majority want to get with females on a majority scale, and females on a majority scale going to want to get with males. Like, that's always going to dominate the. Sorry, I got a message. That's always going to dominate the pool in the world, like the population. So they don't got to worry about that. And so that's why I'm not. What I say? I think I said I'm not against it, right? I think that was the case for that. And yeah. Well, I'm not against it, and why I'm not for it either is because it's just like, it's not the people themselves, like the individuals who are claiming LGBTQ and pride. It's the whole concept itself. Like, who made that up? Like, who made up LGBTQ and the rules behind that? Because, like, you gotta understand, like, let's say if I was a bi or gay person, right? Let's say if I was bi or gay, and I see this thing called LGBTQ. Why do I have to associate with someone else's community? Because I ain't make it up. You know what I mean? So people, like, if you ain't make up the term LGBTQ, if you ain't start that, that's like you start a club, right? And I say I started a club, and I named this club this, that, and the third. That's my club. I invented it. Whether it's called LGBTQ or not, I invented that club. how can like someone that's outside who didn't make that up start claiming it and fighting for it like it's theirs? See what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna be like, oh, that's me? I can understand you like you resonate with something or something like speaks to you like what you like to do, but everything that's good ain't good for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything that look good, that's what I meant to say. Everything that look good ain't good. All because they speaking to you and preaching to you and catering to you and kind of pandering to you for real doesn't mean like they trying to help you or they giving you like a safe space because you don't know who even where that came from. Like that's a whole like title and name and a company basically. Basically, if you really think about it, like that's somebody's intellectual property. Like if you like LGBTQ is made up by individuals who probably don't got your best interest in mind. So like if I was gay or bi or whatever the case may be, and I don't gotta feel like I'm with LGBTQ, even though you say, oh, but you gay, you bi, you must be. How I must be. You feel me? Like that's somebody's community. I don't gotta be part of that community, but still be who I am. I can still claim to be, gay or, bi, whatever the case may be, but it don't mean that I associate with the LGBTQ community. And that leads me to, and that's my reason why I'm not for it. And that leads me to right into like the whole concept itself. Like I think the whole concept is being, because you gotta think who pushing it. Like who really pushing the LGBTQ? Like it's the government. It's really the government. You feel me? Like the government really like try and push LGBTQ. You see the White House with the flag, churches, you know what I mean? So like that's the people who really put the stores, the owners and the founders of these companies or the stores. They put their marketing or their clothing or their products LGBTQ centric. So like this ain't, you don't see like mom and pop shops or like individuals who are gay or trans by whatever, and they own little stand with their own little thing going on. You don't really see that. Like if you go to like a third world country, they got the fruit stands, like the community got their own, like they, like, what's the name when it's like a big mainstream store like Target, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. It's their own stand they built from their crib. Like that's like, you don't see that here when it comes to the trans community or the gay community, stuff like that. You don't really see that going on. You see it from the big, companies, they doing it. So that lets you know who pushing it. So if they pushing it, they must got something in it. Because we already know that everything they do is about money and control of the country. We already know that. Like you don't even gotta be, in the LGBTQ. Everybody know that the government is about money. They all about their money. They all about people, working for them to get more money. They all about, when they build a building, they expect people to work in that building. Like that's what they on. They don't really see nothing. They don't care about how you feel. Y'all work at jobs. Most people work at jobs. Y'all know how it is. Them jobs be dangerous. They be asking you to do like 4 jobs that more. It's more than one person can handle. They be giving you like $15 an hour. You feel me? Like you work there $20 an hour, $25. Like they really think about $25 an hour ain't really like to nothing crazy. I mean it's good for paying your bills, getting food, but ain't nothing like really like worth how much work they giving you though. They give you like you can make $25 an hour, but they give you work that deserves like $50 an hour. You see what I'm saying? Like, and they push you. Like the more money you make, the more they try to make it seem like you need this job or you should be able to handle whatever I throw at you. And you know how it is. Like you know how it is. Like them 8 hours, like you should get paid way more than that. Like you already people already who work know what it is. So these individuals don't care about nobody LGBTQ. They don't really care. The only time they care about stuff like this is if they got something in it. They got something to gain from it, and that's what it really is. So that's why I think people who are like gay, trans, and bisexual, and all those letters, like all those titles. I don't hate to even I felt weird saying like all the letters, but you know what I mean. Like I think individuals who live those kind of lifestyles shouldn't even what's the term, like promote the LGBT or celebrate LGBTQ, because that whole thing is like something else. Like they don't got nothing to do with your personal individual understanding of how you are and how you like to express yourself. Like that's a whole community. Because look, put it this way. Let me give you an example, right? Say if the LGBTQ community or not the community, but the stores and the businesses like Target and Walmart. Say if they want to put like, I'm gonna get explicit. Say if they want to put like something nasty with children on a shirt and say, LGBTQ pride, right? Now you gotta rock with that because that's what you say you support. If you gay or whatever, you say you support LGBTQ. Now when they come out with a shirt or they come out with some logo, or they come out with a movie or a TV show or something in the world to say, yeah, this is LGBTQ as well. Kids doing funny stuff with adults, or kids doing funny stuff, period. Like as far as like sexual and things like that, or it could be anything. Like it could be any kind of thing that you don't agree with. Like, but now you got to go down with that shit because you said you was on that shit. You said you supported that relationship, that you relate to the LGBTQ movement. Yes, you're like, you know what I mean. You resonate with that. That's how you identify yourself. So they choose to put out some narrative that's against like a moral that you got that you ain't expressed before or didn't think you had to. Now you gotta rock with that and be like, oh no, I don't agree with that. Oh no, that's not what it says. You know what I mean? All the way down to kids. Like why do people care if kids like LGBTQ or whatever? Like they kids. Like why are we talking about sexual politics with children? Like what they gotta do with anything? At the end of the day, do you got good grades? Are you like being respectful to your parents? Are you doing chores? Are you like, are you listening? Are you eating food? Like these are the things kids need to worry about. Like, are you like having fun? Are you enjoying yourself? You know what I mean? Like what sexual preference got to do with any of that? What they got to do with it? Like if your kid, like let's say you got a boy and he want to play with Barbies, like so what? Like a lot of times, like these be like your imagination you just going with the flow. I ain't never played with Barbies, but I had but I would have though. Like it wasn't like a thing. Like if I had let's say I had a He-Man toy, and my sisters had a bunch of Barbies, I'll go get my He-Man toy and put it in the pile of Barbies and make up a whole scenario. Like that's what kids do. So it's like, and also when I was little, I knew kids that used to have a little femininity to them and stuff like that, but nobody really cared because we was all kids. Like nobody thought what that was like, or came up with sexual terms for what was going on. We were just outside chilling. So it's like I don't get how people want they fighting over like kids should express their sexual identity. Like what the hell that mean? Like see that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like you gotta rock with something like that. They say like trans for kids or gay for kids. Like what that got to do with being a kid? Like what does any of that got to do with being a kid? That's like you sexualizing kids at this point. Like you on a doorstep at least, because now you bringing in bringing in anything in that spider web. You ever been in school and you seen like a word that has spider web words to it? The word that's like that's like it. It's like more the closer it is more like it than the farther it is something like it, but it's still associated with it. It's like anything you bring in that spider web is weird for kids. Like it's weird. And like even if that kid is gay and we gotta deal with that's their family's thing. If that's between them and their family. Them like nothing to do with no stranger saying no. Let your kid be gay. Let your kid do this. Like who is you got to say what my kid should be doing? Like you about to raise my kid or something? If you are, we gonna need some bread. Like that's just like what it is. Like you gotta put some bread on the table. You know what I mean? We gonna need a cut. Like how you about to raise my kid and tell me? You know what I mean? So that whole movement is stupid. Like people who identify as that, they should just get away. I'm not saying don't be what you are. I'm saying don't support that movement at all. Because once they put something out that's sketchy, that you may not agree with, but you're just rolling with because you may just, you don't want it. And a lot of times I think like they roll with it. A lot of people like in that world roll with it because they don't want it to because it's kind of protecting them. Like the LGBTQ pride movement is protecting people that's like that. So now if you do something that they got the government's kind of protecting them. So if they feel like, I guess they feel like if they don't support it, then they're going to lose that protection. Like they're going to go back to the old days, like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where they were just getting terrorized, which ain't cool either. Like that's not cool either. And I don't want to see that happen either, because these are adults at the end of the day. Why you care what they doing with other adults in their private corridors or they, situations? Like that don't make nobody eat or shit. So nobody should be worrying about, somebody, whatever. But my whole thing is like they should just move completely away. Everybody should just move completely and separate themselves from that whole thing. Cause now they starting to bring kids into it, and for what? And for what? So they trying to move. They trying to use that to push other things. So that's my whole thing with the LGBTQ movement. It's a weird thing. I'm seeing weird stuff in the world, saying how like you know there's multiple. That's another thing too. I'm gonna talk about this multiple gender stuff. Like that is the dumbest thing in the world. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's stupid. Let me tell you how it's stupid. Because at the end of the day, this is here now. Your body is here now. At the end of the day, regardless how you think what's inside, that's another thing. Like you can think and feel how you want. If you want to think, you want to identify as a toilet paper, you can. If you want to identify as a cat, you can. You want to identify as, a boy or girl, you can. But to have other people call you that, you can't make nobody do nothing like that. You can't change nobody's mind. No matter what you do, you can't make somebody call you what you want them to call. Even if you torture them, you got it. That's as much you can do is torture them. Like put them on like a Saw type of torture, so something like that, something like the Saw movie or something, and try to make them call you what you want them to call you. And they still probably won't. Or I won't say probably, but they still might not. You feel me? So why you care about is somebody calling you what you want to call yourself? Like that don't even make no sense. Like that, you could go out in the world. Say you don't identify. Say if it's not the gender thing. Say you want to be called Batman. Yeah, I'm Batman or I'm Superman. I am Clark Kent. That's me in that drawing book. That's me in the comic book, in the movies. That's who I am. You gotta call me Superman. That's my name. I'm gonna, even that is your name. Then you change your government to Superman. I'm gonna call you that. I could call you bootlegger if I want. What you gonna do? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I could call you whatever I feel like calling you. You know what I mean? It's all about respect. You get, that's somebody calling you what you want to be called at. Called is a respect thing. If they don't respect you, they could call you whatever they want to call you. You could fight about it, you could duke it out, but you could beat them up and everything, torture them, break their bones, pour their eye out and everything. They probably still gonna call you what they want to call you. So it's like it don't really make a difference. It don't really make it. So you need to stop fighting to be called what you want to be called. They don't gotta respect you. You earn respect. You don't get given respect because you. That's kind of like narcissist type of stuff. Like, call me what I want to be called, or else what? Like, what you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Like, what you really gonna do? Now, if I'm cool with you and you say I'm a cat, I'd be like, yo, cat. Like, if I'm cool with you, if I respect you, I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't mind calling you that. I don't care. I'm cool with you. But if I don't know you and I'm not cool with you, you telling me to call you this, call you that, I might beat you up. Like, I'm like, I don't gotta call you nothing. Like, you got a knuckle for me. You got me. And even if you beat me, I'm still not gonna call you that. Like, it don't matter. Like, that shit don't matter. So like, the world fight, that's just a distraction. Like, people fighting over that for no reason. That's the stupidest thing. And then on top of that, like, gender always meant is a formal term for sex. When people don't feel comfortable saying sex or bringing that word into the conversation, they say gender. So they trying to change the definition what gender mean. When you a baby, doctors can say sex of the baby or the gender of the baby, but you know what they saying. They saying the same thing. They just, one is more formal than the other. Sex is informal. Gender is formal. So when you're at a business meeting, you may not say sex. When you in a formal setting, you might say, the gender of this person. Somebody's like died or something. What's the gender of this person? When they formally talking like in a formal setting. Words have impact. So and then they take your mind in certain places. So they might not want to say sex because that may might get. Don't you know in class, like when you say, like in school days, when you say something like, say you say the sex or something, somebody be in the back like, like giggling and laughing and stuff, because like that word is bringing different type of thoughts and feelings to people. But you say gender, you probably won't get no giggle and laugh because that word is not bringing those same kind of thoughts and feelings to your mind. So that's all it is. It's not no different definition. It's just a formal and informal of identifying someone's genital area. That's it. Their role in that circumstance. I'm gonna call it the circumstance. Their role in that circumstance. Are they the giver or are they the receiver? Are they gonna be giving kids, or you know what I mean? They be birthing kids, or they gonna be the other on the other end of the spectrum. That's it. That's their role. Are they gonna be receiving things, or you know what I mean? Or they gonna be giving things? God will give, you know, their situation, and the girl will receive the guy's situation. That's it. That's what gender and sex is talking about. It don't got nothing to do with no definition. People need to get out these definitions too. Like I said, like, go with your eyes always told you. Stop reading other people's, you know, theories and things like that. Go out in the world and live like you'll be like, all right. Like it'll be so much simpler. Now people come up with these forums and these definitions and these websites and these articles. Now they just juicing you up to start. They just pumping your head with ideas that it's really all going to a narrative anyway. Like they just want like a certain narrative to be pushed, and it's pretty much stupid. Not to say you can't identify yourself as whatever you want. You sure can. No one can tell you you can't. Like how can I say like the same thing you trying to tell me? I gotta call you something. How can I tell you? No, you're not that. You, I'm whatever I say I am. That's like the Eminem song. I am what I say I am. Like, all right, that's what you want to be. That's cool, but you can't make me call you that. That's the difference. That's the only difference. So, I respect all shades of people, all kinds of people. Well, I don't want to say respect, but you know, I let them do their thing. I let them do their thing. Not that I disrespect anybody or I don't respect it. I'm saying like, I don't give nobody that kind of respect, no matter straight, cat, or whatever, human, whatever. You know what I mean? I ain't going that far saying all that, but I'm just saying like, I don't care with how people roll in their personal life. You know what I mean? Long as they ain't trying to do nothing to me and anybody I care about, that's where I stand on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's all good. I think this LGBTQ shit is just some kind of, you know, agenda that the government is pushing to try to, you know, get some, you know, going. Like it's like they're using that for something that don't got nothing to do with that. That's like how they move. Like that's the government for you. Like they always like pushing narratives, no matter if it's, even if it's not that, if it's just news, everything, like articles, the submarine thing, the Ocean Gate John, all that is like they pushing narratives for stuff that don't got nothing to do with what they pushing. So like everybody agree on LGBTQ, everybody agree on the Ocean Gate. That's tied to something else that don't got nothing to do with those things. So yeah, you agree with that, so that means you also agree with this. That's kind of how they move with everything. So once you understand that, and you can put it to the test, like I'm not no person like me. Let me give you just a little background on me real fast. Like I don't really read too much articles. I don't really get into like a bunch of YouTuber, you know, motivational speakers and woke people. I don't really watch all that. My anything I do on the internet is usually entertainers, like, you know, like streamers, like story time people who just talk about their life and funny stuff that happened to them. Like I watch that kind of stuff. Yeah, I watch astrology too. You know, spiritual. When I say spirituality, I'm talking about like people talking about like how to, you know, do things in the world, not like spirituality. Excuse me, not like what's that stuff called? The Egyptian religion. I forget what that's called. Like, you know, all that other stuff, like the whatever they got going on, like what they think is spirituality, but ain't like the religious stuff. Like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about spirituality, like moving your bones in the morning, like getting up, like that. Like, you know what I mean? That's spirituality. Like getting up and getting out in the world and doing something. That's spirituality. That's actually like doing spiritual stuff. That's what that is. I watch stuff like, and it's not motivational speaking. I know it just sounded like that. I'm saying like, I watch people that be like, yeah, like for instance, like a YouTuber who like tells story time. He'll have like a video that's like, oh yeah, this how I started before YouTube. This how I started my YouTube. This how I am, how I got this big now. Like that's spirituality. And like if you can't read in between the lines. Now I watch videos that's like, yeah, I was, you know, just in the hood, and then I started recording with my friend. That's how I met him. So I bought my camera, and now, you know, this is what I'm doing now, and that's how, you know, I became who I am today. Like that's how I got started. I had to realize like little stuff like that, like little conversations like that. I like hearing those kind of stories, like from the people I like watching. So that's as far as I go. Is like my, internet intake. I don't really be on forums and trying to learn about the world through somebody else's idea, theory, or some scholar. I don't care about your degrees or none like that. Like none of that mean anything. There's people out here with master degrees and doctorates who don't want to do those jobs. Who YouTubers make more than people with master degrees. You see what I'm saying? Doctors. You see what I'm saying? Like none of that really matter in the world. Only thing that I ain't gonna say it don't matter. Like we do need people who want to take care of people, but I'm saying like when it comes to like what I'm trying to say when it comes to like individuals like making an impact and getting receiving things for that impact, it don't really matter if you got a degree or not. You can still make an impact. That's what I was trying to say. Like I'm not saying it don't matter. I'm just saying like degree or no degree, you can still change the world. Like the first person that make money off of YouTube changed the world. See what I'm saying? Like they changed the world. A doctor who discovered a new medicine to change the world. It don't matter if you got a degree or not. You can change the world. So that's what I'm saying by it don't matter. But I don't really get into all these arguments. Everything I'm come from and talk about is from experience and just being out in the world, interacting with people every day. And that's how I learn. I don't really get no book and try to learn and then try to say I know something. You just know whatever that person wrote down. That's all you know. You don't really know, like you don't have your own mind and figure things how they came out that answer themselves. And hopefully they ain't just learn from somebody that wrote down something. Cause then y'all just got teachers and y'all just got they like y'all dad for real, your parents, like they own y'all mind for real, cause they came up with something that everybody's agreeing to. You gotta come up with something. Hopefully somebody will agree with you. Like that's just how life works. That's how you make a difference. So yeah, though. But this was just like a rap, for real. I don't know what I'm gonna call this video, but we gonna call it something. And I'm gonna holler at y'all maybe tomorrow, probably, most likely, or another day. I'm gonna try to keep the posts up regularly. I'm trying to keep the posts up, kind of like in the system and the pattern. So we're gonna make it do what it do. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Enjoy y'all day.